are right here in Simon's draft.
Well, I do too, but there's some stuff that's in other documents that are sitting right here that aren't in there. All I'm suggesting is once, and we know we have a lot of things already done. I think once we see it, we'll all add something that makes it even better for some of it. A great job of collating what we've already got together. Anyway, well, thank you for that.
Okay, so are we down to C?
Yeah, basically that really this kind of plays off the conversation that we're just having. Here's a copy of the op-ed that was in the Times Dispatch earlier, I guess it's 2-3 weeks ago now. These are other types of things that I think that we need to be making sure that we comment on. This is a perfect opportunity for us to pin a op-ed back to the paper from someone in the group on behalf of the group. And I think the process that we're doing here for the energy plan input should kind of get us a basis, kind of a baseline of what we can share in these types of situations. So the reason for including this is we are now 2.5 weeks, is maybe too late to respond to this editorial specifically. But I'm happy to talk to the paper to see if they can still take something. But also to make sure that we have a process in place for us to be able to respond to these types of things. So that's kind of why I wanted to bring that to everyone's attention.
To add to what Randy said, I can't remember when this was, but earlier in the summer, I think it was July 1st, the Virginia Advanced Energy Industries Coalition, they had a very kind of, I don't know if very big, but certainly I heard about it, so it's kind of big. They had a press release saying they had submitted a recommendation to the Virginia Energy Plan, blah, 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 blah. So those kinds of things, and once that we have our something that we are comfortable with, we need to also say, okay, the Virginia Nuclear Energy Consortium has provided input to the Virginia Energy Plan, and these are the key recommendations, so on and so on.
I think that's a really, really important thing. So.
Yeah.
Randy, is that something that you may want to help us with?
Yes, sure. Yes, certainly. I just want to be able to make sure that, if I guess my question is, okay, if we see something in the paper that we want to respond to, then I'm happy to put together some content for approval. I just want to make sure that I know what the process is you guys want me to kind of go through. Who we need to make sure. I mean, my kind of thought is that we have a kind of standing committee that deals with these type of input content, stuff where whether Sam is the chair or whether and that person could kind of be the author of whatever goes out, just to make sure that whatever content, because I know less about these issues than John does, other folks here at the table. So for me, I just want to make sure that I know who I'm taking orders from on these types of things and what type of a process to go through to make sure everyone's cool with it. That's really...
Yeah, why don't you just run through me, and
Okay.
you and I kind of think, this is what we got to answer, we'll send it out to everybody, and people see things that for some reason we haven't caught, and you want to do that, just again, run it through Randy, and we'll just make sure, the key is to keep you all posted on what's going on, and as we do this, maybe, get some volunteers to, I'll write this one, or I'll write that one. That sort of thing. I think in the name of the consortium, we want to make sure that everybody here sees what it is and is comfortable with it, and with the concepts and the idea and the strategies. We don't want to overdo and be out there every day, but at the same time, we have to balance and find the right time to where we want to strike back or step out on something.
Yeah, I think this is more like once a month thing than a once a day thing, but we are in a unique time where there's different public policy issues that are touching on the industry significantly. And then where I think there will be a flurry of things over the next 30, 60, 90 days where we have opportunities like this. So I'm going to do that. And I'll reach out to my contact, a couple of folks I've worked with on the ed board there to see if they would be interested in us having a response related to this or if the window is shut. So I think we'll do that on that ASAP.
If you don't mind, though, I think your point was well taken. Sam and I have served in a lot of different positions where we've had to respond we get through public policy responses or responses in some editorial or something. If you don't have a process that has the 5 or 6 or 7 steps with timeframes in it, then everybody won't know what's expected of them. So while it may very well be that one, step 1 is something's identified, 2, everyone agrees, let's respond, and you got to have another process for timeframes. And if you don't respond during the window of opportunity to respond, it'll become a meaningless or non-related thing. So I'm thinking, you want to throw something together that we can sort of, we've used enough of this, we could just throw together a 6 or 7 step process for you to agree to. So there's something that we all know, that if we identify something that we're going to respond, let's say in, I don't know if you want to say 48 hours or whatever time frame it is, whatever we decide it is, you need to know that there's something we're all going to be doing in a finite period of time. Otherwise, you're going to get it and wonder how soon you have to respond.
Now, my view is, frankly, flip it, which is say, we'll set out something that says, we're going to respond. If you have issues or questions, let us know. If we don't hear from you, we're going to just take no response as a response, rather than try and count and keep check boxes and things. It's pretty,
Okay.
We're all on the run. We're all, we're all working off of these things and so forth. Yeah, I'm glad we should respond to that. So if there's a counter voice, we'll take it into consideration and we'll adjust accordingly.
I didn't think Don. No, I like Don's point though, that when I send something out, that I'll be like, hey, you got 24 hours to respond, you got 48 hours to respond.
Yeah. But you and I, we'll just do it on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to run into this. We don't want to body every day.
Exactly.
That's the key.
But Marshall, what I hear you saying too, though, is if anybody sees anything and wants to draft something, has the time that minute to draft something and send it to you,
Absolutely.
then we can all circulate
Absolutely. It's a
it.
volunteer process.
Yeah.
As much as we try and keep ready from doing anything else.
And that's actually a good segue. There's a guy here, Christopher Keegan, who was a second-year law student at UR, who was finishing up a clerk with the 4th District, who was offered to volunteer with us over the next semester. So for writing and things, reading smart people to do stuff smarter than me, Chris is going to be able to help do some research and other kind of staff level stuff. So Chris, you want to
Thank you. Chris, thank you. Make sure he's on the distribution list.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, okay. All right, moving on. Article 5.
Sorry, excuse me,
Yes,
before
sir.
we leave that, this may be totally out of bounds for what we're doing here, but another flip side to addressing that particular article, the frustration between somebody coming in at this level and somebody coming in at this level. Perhaps there's something that we could do collectively, given all of the brilliance at the table and all of the resources at the table, to be more proactive instead of reactive in this. If Virginia is in fact going to be the nation's leader in, come up with something along the lines of the ad council or something that's not commercial, that's not propagating B&W or Reba or the major universities, but here's the information, here are the real facts, here are the current facts versus, cars kill people because there are no airbags. Well, sure, if you're driving a 40-year-old car, but there's more. And the more information that we get out subtly, gently, to try to shape the perception of nuclear energy, not only in the Old Dominion, but nationwide, it lifts the stature of Virginia as the nuclear leader, and that's just the way it's working.
I think that's absolutely right. I think it's why, in my view, I want us to take that inventory and run it across the sky and tell people what's here. First thing is to get them to a point where they know that. Look at all the jobs, look at all the diversity, look at all the industry and so forth. And that, especially coming from this organization, then gives this organization a clear flag that we've planned. We are here, we're looking at what we're doing here, and we start making recommendations, and we just get involved in that way. I mean, the inventory is a perfect way to sort of publicly launch, if you will, to get us down to the right document to design.
There's also one other point I want to make sure people keep in mind that some of the things we're talking about doing are really crossing over to what the consortium should be doing, not what the board should be doing. Ideally, from like a macro perspective, once the consortium's established, there'll be staff, there'll be people that can drive this stuff every day, that can be thinking about this. These issues, it will no longer be a strictly public body that will not have to deal with some of the public meeting issues that we would have to deal with from collaboration and and stuff like that. So I just want to keep that in mind as we kind of move forward, that some of these bigger projects are really, is what the consortium is for.
Maybe they were.
Yeah.
That's a quick question, Mr. Chairman. What about, I know you all get asked this from time to time, and I've just been asked to write something by the Jefferson Institute about Virginia. So I titled it, Virginia Can Lead the Nation's Nuclear Renaissance. And it's 11 pages, and I tried to keep it short, and I can't, and I keep making comments. And, you know, I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't want to write this.
No,
So
you need
I'm going
an
to give it to
editor?
all of you to help me write it.
Do you need an editor? I'll volunteer.
Please, because once you start writing something like this, they said, well, could you write that? And I said, oh, well, yeah, sure. Yeah. I got so much, I'm thinking, oh my God, Dave's going to shoot me if he sees I said that. So, it's not an easy document to write, so I'd really someone else have their name on it. So
His interest.
I've already mentioned,
Well, Joe,
it's got Sanders' name on it, now she just doesn't know it.
Joe and I actually worked on, at the Thomas Jefferson Institute, an article before and had talked about doing a follow-up. So I don't know that it would be inappropriate for me to put my name on it at this point.
Good, you can take mine off. Because
Well,
the point is that
we can do it together.
all I want to, if they're offering and they're going to leave a place for us, I want to make sure we don't say no to the opportunity, as you said, to make sure we're being proactive about getting our message out. Because we're too often, being defensive. We're defending a negative and many times an inappropriate position is being taken instead of us establishing the appropriate position it should be and letting them discuss it. We're discussing, you know,
Is
from
this
defense.
being done in our name?
No. Oh, there's no way I do it in your name.
Well,
Oh, B&W?
well, I was going to say,
No.
no, I was going to say, I mean, we could talk about that. I don't know exactly what it is that you're writing for them and what the essence of it is, but
It came out
is
because I was
something-
president of the American Nuke Society, and I said, I don't want to write it as president of ANS because ANS is about the entire national
But-
aspect,
but
and it
maybe
shouldn't
we
be
wanna
taking
put-
one state on.
But maybe we want to put the authority's name.
Well, I tell you what, why don't you and I get together and see if we can come up with something they like, and that they like, and then the authority can decide to put their
And
name
then
on it.
we
It could
can
be
send
authority's
it to Marshall
document, not
and
mine.
circulate it. Yeah.
Thank you, great, what a great segue, thanks for giving me a chance, I had no idea how to.
Really quick, following on Randy's introduction, just so everybody knows, I happen to have Chris's resume in my hand, and I'm just going to pass it down the line so everybody knows what a talented guy we have.
Do you want us to make comments or additions to it?
Yeah, if you want to mark it up and give it, no.
All right. Ready, Randy? You good?
Yeah, we're all good.
Item 5, other business, Nuclear Cybersecurity Advisory Group.
That's my item, and just kind of a brief discussion. This is a specific opportunity that's been brought before us. With that in mind, it's really more of a consortium item, but since it's a specific item, I think as an authority, we have a better chance to talk about how we want to do these things in the specifics as opposed to the abstract. So I'm going to try to do this briefly and then talk about maybe how we can move this forward. The CAR has been in discussion with a number of folks around the opportunities and the needs for automated cybersecurity within the industry. And there are some unique things going on there. And there's a number of needs there, but one particular one that's come up that might be an opportunity for the consortium here is the need for a technical advisory group in that area. Quite simply, in this industry, and a lot of you know this, there's three major players, and all of them have a gap. There's the regulatory body, which has a minimal amount of expertise in this area. And as a result, when you get a regulatory body that is not familiar, they tend to default to the let's not do anything approach. There's the licensees that are facing a tremendous amount of regulatory uncertainty because the regulatory body doesn't know what to do. Then there are vendors that are sitting out there with lots of really good technical solutions and no path to get in front of the regulatory bodies because of the lack of knowledge and because of the regulatory uncertainty. So there's an opportunity there to form an independent, unbiased technical advisory group that can be a place where all of those folks can plug in. The vendors can come in and say, here's a technical solution that the licensees can turn to say, tell me what the criteria should be for a technical solution that I can take to that body, and that we can communicate to the regulatory body, here are the things that you need to look for. And hopefully what would happen out of that is that we would start to be able to implement these really good technical solutions into this regulatory environment. The primary players in this